Hey guys, I'm DannyDonuts, and welcome back to my Deep Deck Dive series. Man, I'm glad to be back. It's been a bit. But, so just in case you're new, the concept of this series is that I take a wacky concept from the Tempo Storm YouTube comment section, and I put my own spin on the deck to make it fairly viable on the wild ladder. Unfortunately, because our last video was before the nerfs, a lot of the concepts have been old, so I went to the Wild Hearthstone Discord to get this idea, but our next video will be taken from the YouTube comments from this video. So put your comments below, put your suggestion for a crazy concept, and I'll see if I can build a deck from it. And feel free to include any deck codes, and I'll go through and modify the deck as well, like I'm doing here this episode. So this week, we have a list suggested from Bad Player, and that's his username. He's not actually a bad player, or I'm not really sure. I don't really know how well he plays, but his username is Bad Player. And just to give fair warning, there's a guy named Yiling Sama who may or may not have played this list. I know that he was playing High Legend Wild, playing this style of list, but I don't know if this is his exact list. But because I got this from Bad Player, I couldn't find any of Yiling Sama's lists online or anything, so this isn't an original concept. This has been done before in Wild, but we're going to put our own spin on it. So, taking a look at the deck, it is Treachery Warlock. So this is really interesting, the list, and I think we're going to go and really take the concept, look at it, break it all down, put it all back together, and see how it goes. So, the main concept is you have Treachery, and then you have Howl Fiend to discard the cards from your opponent's hand. Because most of the time in Wild now, you have a lot of combo decks that are saving up to kill you. You have like Togwaggle Druid, even like Jade Druid, and you also have the ability to mill cards from their deck by giving them Fel Reaver and then playing a bunch of cards from their hand. So, and against aggro, Warlock has the tools. I'm not really confident with the tools that are here, but you have the tools to defend against aggro, and then one big threat can just win you the game. So I even bet against aggro, you probably want to be able to just play the Fel Reaver and be able to contest some board presence. So now that we got the concept of the idea... Oh, other things we can do with Treachery. So Treachery, you can give your opponent a Doomsayer for a free clear on 5 mana. You can Emperor Thaurissan and get discounts on everything, and then use the Grim Patron Defile, and if you have the Possessed Villager, that gets a free tick from Emperor Thaurissan, so it costs free, and then you can just infinitely go off and clear any board with Grim Patron and Defile. So, I think this is pretty interesting, and so let's break it down. There's one little kind of wrinkle that I want to add to the deck, because Grim Patron and Defile, it was also used in another combo a really long time ago, and I want to see if we can merge those two together, and so it'll be pretty interesting. So let's break it down and see what we actually need. First off, I don't think we need the Glacial Shard. We'll come back later, but Glacial Shard's gone. We're gonna keep the Mistresses, good early game. Possessed Villager, fine. Dark Bomb, I don't think you ever run one Dark Bomb, so I'm a little bit confused about that. We'll leave it in for now. We'll either add or remove based off of what we need. And because we're running Treachery, we cannot use Prince... what's the Prince 3's name? We can't use Tal'Daram, but we can use Velinar, which I like that idea. Hellfire is the only card that you really want to be running in this, except for like Spellstone and stuff like that, but we're not really playing Q-Block, so I'm fine playing Velinar. Let's see what else we really need. Let's get rid of the Ooze. I'm not really a fan at the moment. Like, again, we'll come back to our removal at the end and see what we really need. We'll get rid of the Stonehills for the moment. Healbot. I like the Dreadlord idea, especially if you're giving your opponent the Howl Fiend. Being able to kill at least one off by having a Dreadlord on board is a good idea. So, Fel Reaver, great. One copy Fel Reaver, one copy of Howl Fiend. They're like interchangeable for each other in the combo, depending on what you're trying to do. So that's fine. I want to run 2 Grim Patrons, and you'll see why in a bit. I just want to have more consistency on that. We'll get rid of Apple Bomb. We don't need Soul, Geist. Keep Godfrey. We could even keep Nether just for against aggro. And Gul'dan's just good in general. We'll see what other... The issue is that if we ever play Howlfiend, Gul'dan will resummon it. So that's a bit of an issue. But that's more of an aggro... we're going to be more concerned about an aggro matchups. And because of that, we can't play Void Lord. Or not Void Lord, Void Caller, which is unfortunate. But let's also see what... Now let's go look at some demons. Oh no, let's put the other part of the combo that I wanted to put in. I want to put in Knife Juggler. And then I want to put in the Immune minion. Immune. I can spell, guys. You can put in a Death Speaker. So the idea here is that you have Grim Patron, Knife Juggler, and Death Speaker along with Defile through the Emperor, and then you get infinite juggles, or as many juggles as you get off of 1 Defile, which procs 15 times. I know there's a hard limit on Defile. I guess we'll find that out coming up. So this is the core of the deck so far. So the concept is against slower decks like Druid, we're going to want to go in and Howlfiend away their combo. So make them discard 6 cards. So that's cool. We can definitely do that. Again, and we also use Fel Reaver with the Treachery and discard some of their hand as well. So that's cool. Against other control decks, like maybe Priest or something, like Reno Priest, we'll be able to use Knife Juggler in our OTK with Grim Patron, and then we just inherently have enough for against aggro. So where are we weak? Let's go take a peek at all these Warlock cards. Possessed Villager, we only really want 1 copy of that. I was thinking we might want to play the Homunculi. Play a Homunculus, just to make our Gul'dan a little bit better. Just have a little bit more early game presence. And we can capitalize on having the 3 mana cards with Demon Wrath and just keep clearing boards. Because we win the game at certain points against aggro, just by continuously clearing. We can play Imp Gang Boss. Ooh, Imp Gang Boss is fairly good as well, just with this. Because it's like a mini patron. I like that. I like Imp Gang Boss. And then, because we don't really care when we pull back Gul'dan if we have a bunch of 1/1s, because we've had a bunch of... We don't have that many demons in the deck. So, Imp Gang Boss is pretty good. And we can't play Hellfire because of Valanir. Unfortunately, we can't use Dreadsteed. That would be cool with this deck. And we can't play any 4-drops, actually. Skull is never going to be played in this deck. He had Siphon Soul in there. That's okay for spot removal. I'd actually prefer to play in the moment due to the amount of shamans. I'd want to run a Blast Crystal just so that you can contest the 4-mana 7/7s over that. And yeah, there's nothing else that I'd really want to play. So we'll put in a Blast Crystal. And then we'll put in another Dark Bomb, even it out. Make it more mid-range-ish. Get that last burst if we don't finish him off with the Grim Patron combo. So, bad player, Healing Sama, good deck. We modified it, made it a little bit more memey, but I think it's good enough because Warlock is just in a really good spot in the meta at the moment. So, let's call this Treachery. Exclamation mark. Alright, so we got our deck. Let's take it for a spin. Keep the Dreadlord and the Dark Bomb and the Villager. Alright, so this time it is a Baku Paladin. Hey, we needed you for like the past 5 games, Emperor. Thanks for showing up.
Reporting for duty.
Godfrey is huge against this deck. Luckily, we have Dreadlord and the coin, so the big swing turns for this deck are turn 5 essentially. Because on turn 5 he is able to play his cards. He's able to play whatever it is he is playing in this list. Whether it be the Quartermaster or level up. So Coin Dreadlord is our play, most likely this turn.
Reporting for duty.
The light dims, but we fight. This might steal.
Dreadlord is just very, 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 very good against Paladin.
Reporting for duty.
Alright, so we got Treachery Doomsayer, so we're not that concerned with a lot of stuff at the moment. So at this point, what we do really is dependent on what we draw into. Man, I haven't seen that card in a while. Corridor Creeper.
For duty.
Defile, nice. I'm gonna kill the Corridor Creeper with double Dark Bomb. And then we can mill him a bunch if we want to next turn. Or the turn after, we'll see.
Reporting for duty.
I think we Emperor here. Actually, do we have... We're one card off the OTK combo, and we have the Howl Fiend combo too. So, if we draw into a Death Speaker, we get that. So I think we Emperor this hand. We probably just have lethal with Knife Juggler and the rest of the stuff.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, we got it.
Reporting for duty. Nice to meet you. To arms, men.
So we could Treachery Doomsayer. And then try to go more in on our Knife Juggler combo. Yeah, let's do that one. Or we could just clear with Godfrey. Be a little bit more patient. Godfrey it is.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, cool.
Reporting for duty.
So, we've Knife Juggler. We've Villager. We Grim Patron. We Go Face. And we Defile. We got him! Now that is satisfying. Alrighty, so we're showcasing a match against Druid right now. We weren't running into many on the ladder, but it's a deck that really we can capitalize against. So against matchups like this, we want to be looking for our Emperor, because Emperor essentially makes the game. So he's a hard mulligan in those matchups. The big thing is we can't rely on our Knife Juggler combo for this one, because they gain too much armor. So we need to go in for the discard their entire hand with Fel Reaver or Howl Fiend. We can play Knife Juggler as a tempo tool in this matchup, just to contest the board so we don't get low enough HP where he can kill us. Because we're going to be tapping a lot. Gul'dan. Okay, so we got a safety net. And we got Emperor Thorson. Alright. Now we got to look for Howl Fiend and Defile. Or Fel Reaver and Defile. But I don't think our hand is cheap enough for that to be viable. One of the big things I've learned through this is being patient with Emperor Thorson. You can definitely play him early, and then you'll have a turn where it's like you're 1 or 2 mana off from your combo, but you really gotta wait. Poison is not good. So, Dark Bomb.
Your soul is mine.
Trade. Tap.
Side effects. Trust me.
Alright, we can stall out with Doomsayer. Or we could save Doom. I think saving Doomsayer is probably a good idea, to be perfectly honest. If we draw into Fel Reaver and we go through that mill route, we want as many cheap cards in our hand. So Doomsayer is actually probably better as a 1-mana card, just in general. Cheap stuff. Might not play a lot of things. Gaining armor, okay. Death Speaker. This can definitely be played. Let's get the demon out. Demon and a patron. We're only going to need 1 patron, I think. We don't have enough time for 2. That way we can tap next turn. Uh-oh, got the UI. Alright, so we got a defile. That's nice. So that's 2, 3, 4, 7. So we need Howl Fiend. We can go off with the Howl Fiend combo, but we need Fel Reaver if we want to do that one. So I don't know. Twisting Nether's probably a good bet here. We can tap Thorson next turn. And then we have a Gul'dan follow-up if he gets aggressive. Alright. Tapping a Howl Fiend. Nice. Cool, so that should be good. All right. So how do we do this? We need a 1 and we need a 2 health. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have enough for that. So we will Blood Reaver to set up. Bringing back the Imp Gang bosses is pretty good. Because Imp Gang boss on itself will proc the Howl Fiend. Because we need to get the Grim Patron to a level where it goes off. Uh-oh. Innervate, draw. Uh-oh. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so that means he's gonna have more. There's more likely of a chance that he has his combo pieces in his hand at the moment. And then giving me the 1/1 just gave me the win. Hell yeah. Here we go. There's poison seeds. Okay. Give me Aviana Coon. There's Coon. Okay. Alright, what's next? What's next? Azalina! Woo! Wild Girth. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yes! Got rid of Togwaggle. Can't swap decks. Wrath. Alright. That's a pretty solid Treachery. Leaves us with 4 patrons on the board. Oh wow, it got more. Why did we get more? Normally you get 4 when you use the Knife Juggler combo. Oh, Poison Seeds. Spreading Plague, yikes. So we just gotta play this out, but we pretty much got it. Because our hero power does 3 up on him. It doesn't have another swipe left, so that's good. He does still have another Spreading Plague, and he also has Aviana. So those are the two main threats, but we got it.
Children fill the skies.
All right. All right.
I'm almost out of cards.
Does have a second plague. I'm gonna wait just in case. Yeah, he doesn't have anything, but
Out of cards.
it's fine. So we will not be playing that Fell Reaver. And his last card is UI. Just keep it going.
Nicely done. You will wither.
Got him.
Side effects? No.
Your soul is mine.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Masterful. Nicely done.
That's how you beat Togwaggle, Druid. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up everything. This deck was definitely one of the more interesting ones. Treachery and the just Halfiend is an interesting concept. Fell Reaver, like, the build is close, but I don't know. I don't think this is something you're going to be storming the ladder with. It has some really good matchups. It does very well against Druid. Did very well against the controlling decks like the Control Mage. Did well against Q-Block. But against some of the other decks where they can just put some pressure on you, you're in for a little bit. Did well against Paladin, but some of the decks that went more wide rather than, more tall rather than wide, something like Odd Rogue, really picked through this deck. But fun deck, really fun deck. Had a lot of memes, like all the Knife Juggler, Grim Patron combos, milling all the cards, discarding all of my opponent's cards. Really, really fun deck. So, yeah, this pretty much wraps it up. Thank you, Bad Player. Thank you, Yiling Sama. Really appreciate the deck. Yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. This has been the Deep Deck Dive, and put your comments for the next episode below. See you later.